and welcome to my channel. I returned to my old idea, namely, everything about, where I tell some facts about the game, show the path the animatronics take from the stage to the office, and all the cutscenes and phone calls. I made a previous video about this topic a long time ago, and I thought, why not return to it? And I thought, why not do it about Candy? I think this game is worthy of it, and if you like the video, maybe I will make more videos of this format. But I don't want to drag out the video. Let's get started. Enjoy watching. The restaurant seemed to originate from 1964, since in Five Nights at Candy's, in the Night 5 cutscene, it is seen that the newly produced Old Candy and Blank are lying down on a conveyor belt in RoboAddict's Corporan factory. On the Night 6 cutscene, the rat is also with them, implying that he was somehow involved with the restaurant's history. Later, in Five Nights at Candy's 2, within the minigames, it is confirmed that the restaurant existed prior to 1965. The restaurant had only 2 animatronics before 1987, Old Candy and Blank. In 1987, an incident took place where Old Candy harmed one of the customers. The customer was pushing a child away. After the event transpired, Old Candy was replaced with 4 new animatronics: Candy the cat, Cindy the cat, Chester the chimpanzee, and possibly the penguin, if he was not there beforehand, with Blank reused. The week before Mary Schmidt was hired as a security guard, one of the security guards working the night shift went missing after smashing Blank with a wrench. The guard was possibly killed by one of the animatronics. Mary quickly learns that the animatronics are somehow able to harm her during her night shift. She finishes her shift on night 5, receives overtime on night 6, and gets fired at the end of the custom night. The minigames reveal that in 1989, the company approved the construction of new versions of Candy and Cindy, although not for Chester, known as New Candy and New Cindy. Chester was disassembled by the rat and later decommissioned. The restaurant is refreshed and continues its operations until 1993, when the rat killed the security guard. This resulted in the closing of the establishment and that the animatronics were returned to the factory. Candy is a blue animatronic cat with a bright red tie, rosy cheeks, and reddish-brown eyes. He has rounded triangular ears and 2 small fangs on his upper jaw. His appearance, along with the other animatronics, heavily resembles that of the toy animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But now about the path that Candy takes. And then after that, I will tell the facts about him. First, I will show photos from the old version and then from the remaster. And below, there will be a mini-map to understand what camera that is. For example, right now he's on stage, that is on camera number 1. After which, he heads to the second camera, and here Candy chooses whether to go left or right. Here is another similar animatronic, but we will talk about him later. But let's first look at his path to the right door. So the next camera is camera 5. Some people who are playing for the first time think he will attack the window, but nope, he just will go to the camera number 3. And by the way, an interesting fact, animatronics cannot enter a camera if there is already someone on it, and they cannot go back. And the last camera is camera 4, so you have to close the door. And this camera also helps to understand if the candy has left the doorway, so that it is safe to open the door. Great! We've completely figured out his path to the right door. Now, let's figure out his path to the left door. If you haven't forgotten, Candy chooses his path on camera 2, so he goes from camera 2 to camera 9. And finally, the last camera is camera 6. Candy will be standing in the doorway in the left door. The same situation as with camera 4. And we've seen Candy's entire path to the office. But I wanted to do all the jump scares after all the animatronics. But let's do it this way. I show the jump scare animatronic after his path, and then I show all the jump scares in the game. So, here are the Candy jump scares from the first game and the remaster. Cindy looks like Candy, except that she has a pink bow tie and she is magenta in color. She also has a feminine body similar to Toy Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. She has pink cheeks and brown irises just like her twin brother, Candy the cat, and violet eyelids with long eyelashes. She and Candy appear to be around the same height and build, but Cindy may be slightly smaller due to her feminine stature. She is also seemingly the only female mascot in the entire game of Five Nights at Candy's, where the rest of the animatronics are all male. Oh well, let's see the Cindy path. And here is the first difference between her and Candy. Instead of going to the center, she first goes to camera number 12. But then she still heads to camera number 2. But her difference from Candy is that she only heads to the right door, and no other way. And the last camera, it's camera 4. Again, like with Candy, this means we need to close the door. Otherwise, we'll get a jump scare. By the way, speaking of jump scare, here are Cindy's jump scare. Chester is a chimpanzee animatronic with brown fur and a pair of green overalls with yellow buttons. He has olive-colored eyes and a peach-colored stomach. His upper teeth are half-covered, possibly a curled lip. He can also be seen sometimes holding a red banjo. And Chester will be more interesting than Candy and Cindy because I finally found facts about him. But I want to tell you about his path first, and only then I will tell you the facts about him. So, his first difference from the others is that he hides under a curtain, like Foxy from the original game. But despite the fact that he behaves like Foxy, nothing unites them except for the slowly leaving from the stage. And if you thought he had the longest path to the office because 2 phases take place on 1 camera, then no. In fact, he has to go through 5 cameras like the other animatronics, if you count a phase as a camera. And finally, the last camera where Chester will be is camera number 6. And again, you need to close the door as he is in the doorway. Don't forget about it. But are you ready to see what awaits you if you don't close the door? Now, as I promised, interesting facts about Chester. In Custom Night, there was a bug, if you just look at Chester, while he is near the left door. And do nothing else, then none of the other animatronics will move and Chester will not attack, which will allow the player to win. However, this bug has been fixed. And one more fact. Rarely can Chester become active on the first night, however, he, as a rule, will not even leave his stage. Blank is a somewhat white-colored template animatronic with faded colors on his body, where children took crayons and drew on him. His body appears to be damaged, missing the endoskeleton on his left forearm and the back of his head, as well as his left hand being completely missing, and he has a few holes on his body. This is because the previous guard attempted to destroy Blank with a wrench. And by the way, Blank also has a lot of interesting facts. But let's talk about them later. First, we have his path. Blank is the only animatronic in the game that doesn't have a path. Most of the time, he is on 1 camera, namely camera 11. And he is more like Foxy, since he has several phases, and we need to look at him often to close the window before he breaks it and scares us. In the second phase, Blank is already looking at the camera, and it looks very creepy. And the third phase is the last phase, where we see Blank on camera number 11. In the last phase, he has already left the camera and is already standing nearby the window. And here is him animation when he hit the window. Are you ready for jump scare? Як пояснює телефонний хлопець, у Blank є спеціальне пластикове покриття, яке дозволяє дітям малювати на ньому. As Phone Guy explains, Blank has a special plastic coating that allows kids to draw on him. As stated by the Phone Guy in Five Nights at Candy's, Blank was repeatedly beaten with a wrench by the previous security guard, who became mentally unstable after experiencing the supernatural events throughout the restaurant. This was the cause of his damage and the holes around him. There is a rare chance that Blank may attack the player in the early nights, although this is unlikely and will only occur late at night. Various drawings on him are references to the Freddy. Under his left eye, a drawing of Foxy can be seen. On the left of his torso, a drawing of Freddy can be seen, but it is relatively small, making it difficult to see. On the top right of his torso, a drawing of Bonnie can be seen. On the top of his right eye, a drawing of Chica can be seen, but it is small and harder to see due to the coloring. On the top of his left eye, a drawing of William Afton killing a child. On Blank's lower jaw, two written names, Jane and Bob. It's possible they are the twins murdered by the rat, but this has yet to be confirmed. Old Candy looks much larger and bulkier than Candy, as well as having dark blue fur. Like Cat, he lacks a tie, and more of his endoskeleton is exposed. His shoulders are barely covered, and his endoskeleton is showing, along with some wires traveling down his arms. At first glance, he seems to lack eyes altogether. On closer inspection, he appears to have eyes. However, they are completely dark. His pupils do not light up, making him the only other animatronic in the game besides the rat, whose eyes do not appear on the cameras without using night vision. This makes him hard to see when at the doorway as well. And Old Candy, similar to the Chester, because he also have two phases in own camera before leave to another camera. And after he leaves the parts and service, he will head towards the left door. I like the Old Candy because it blends in with the background, which adds to the atmosphere. Camera number 6 is the only way to know if Old Candy is standing by the door, since his eyes don't glow like the new animatronics, which makes him very problematic. And now for the facts. He is one of 3 animatronics not shown in the trailer, like the penguin and the rat. Old Candy may have been inspired by the popular TV show Tom and Jerry, as evidenced by the cardboard cutout of his head on camera 7. In the original, he started active on the 3rd night, but in the remaster, this was changed to the 4th night. The penguin is a penguin-like animatronic wearing a black and white tuxedo and a red bow tie. He has a small orange beak. He is also very small compared to other animatronics. The first feature of the penguin is that it does not have an initial camera. He can only be seen when it is active and appears on camera 12. The penguin only moves to the right door, and he is the only animatronic who does not have a jump scare and does not kill the player. The penguin is so small that even its eyes in the doorway are too low compared to the others. As I said, he doesn't have a jump scare. So I'll get straight to the facts. His original design didn't have a left eye, and he looks like 3 characters at once. The first is Balloon Boy, because he interferes with the game and constantly repeats the same words.
Can I take your order?
The second character is JJ. They are similar because they both hide under the table. And the third character is your choice, because he looks like Wheezy or Gunter. And now, the most problematic animatronic. And the animatronic that has a lot of interesting facts and a story. So let me not describe him. You can see everything yourself. Let me just quickly show his path to the office. In the first feature, the camera where the rat is only appeared in the remaster. It has not existed in the original game. And here in the original, we only see him leave his room and then go to camera 9. In camera 9, the rat is choosing where to go. But let me first show his path to the left door. By the way, as you may have noticed, the rat likes to stay in the dark, not stand in the center of the room like other animatronics do. The rat, like old Candy, doesn't have eyes that glow in the dark, so you have to use cameras to see him. And now we're going back to the center, because now the rat will move to the right door. And yep, the rat is the most complex animatronic because it is not visible in the doorway, and it walks towards both doors. The rat was created somewhere in 1961 as a costumed character for the Rat and Cat Theater. He was played by a male actor who, along with a cat and a puppet, would put on a show and play games with children. One day in 1961, a drunken rat invites a group of children to play hide-and-seek with him. Mary Schmidt has been looking for a place to hide for a long time, and so she enters the room only to personal, and the rat sees this and runs after her. The puppet enters the room, telling the rat to take off his costume and go home, because he came to work drunk. He tries to take off his mask, but the rat starts a fight, where the puppet pushes him against a table, causing the actor to fall and hit his head on the edge of the table and die. After the cat enters and tries to call the police, he is also killed. After which, the puppet calls the police, saying that he found them dead. There's a lot more to know about Rat, but I want to keep it short. When they made Rat as a robot, he was aggressive and even hurt Mary's brother. Then they locked him in a secret room, but he opened it anyway, and we see him in the first game. And after he killed a guard in 1993, he was sent back to the factory. The rat was based on a suggestion for a character resembling Springtrap, named Mousetrap on the official announcement page. In the original, the last frame of the jump scare has the colors changed to show human eyes, similar to Springtrap. However, this detail has been removed in the remaster. And unfortunately, this video going to the end. I hope it was interesting, because I spent a lot of time on this video. I know it's not perfect, but I wanted to do it for a long time, and I hope that at least someone will watch it. If you really like the video, I will be happy to make a sequel, or even a remake of this video. I have nothing to add, I just want to wish you a good day, or morning, or evening, or good night.